when you're exercising, whether you're doing a karate practice or a weightlifting routine, or you're going for a jog, there's a particular order of operations that I encourage you to follow. The first thing I want you to do is warm up. Be it a light jog, be it a light game of basketball, some jumping jacks. I'll take you through some examples here. But step one is to warm up. Step two is to stretch. Some people may argue that the stretch isn't necessary before a workout, but I find it really helps to prevent injury. So warm up, stretch, work out, whatever it is you're going to do. Some weights, a karate practice, and then stretch again. Don't be in such a hurry that you can't stretch, because your muscles are going to be very tight after the vigorous activity, and you want to bring them back into a balanced state, a relaxed state. So, for a warm-up, what I prefer to do is a little jog and then maybe some jumping jacks. Let's take a look. You can do about 30 of these. You don't have to watch me do all 30. You can do some push-ups. I prefer to do about 10 or 15, but if you want to do more, you can do more. Just try to loosen up your elbows and your shoulders. You can also do some deep knee bends like this. If you're doing a karate practice and you've got your uniform on, you can fire some kicks. You might try some front kicks. Nice and easy, not too hard. Just warm up the kicks. And you could do some wheel kicks or roundhouse kicks, just down the floor. Might do 5 or 10 on each leg. You could even do step through side kicks. Just loosen up the hips. Don't really try to snap them too hard. Just loosen things up. You can even fire some punches just from a horse stance. Be gentle on the elbows. Just warm them up. You can throw horizontal punches. You can throw vertical punches. I also like to do hammer fist, back knuckle. You can practice orbiting your hands. And then the other side, just loosening things up. You can keep the rear hand stationary, or you can orbit. So keep your elbows and your knees loose. And then the stretch. First thing I like to do is to stretch my neck. I'll put my chin down and just gently let the weight of my hands pull down on my head. Another thing I like to do for the back of my neck, I'll put my chin down towards my right pectoral, but I'll look towards my left. And that gets a really good stretch back in here with both hands up. And then I'll do the other side. I'll put my chin down towards my left, but I'll look to my right. And then I can look straight ahead and stretch this way. And the other side. So those are all really good for the trapezius. The next stretch I like to do, you can use your belt or a broomstick, anything you have nearby. I'll kneel here so you can see me. Open over backwards like that. Notice I'm not grabbing really close. If I were to grab in here, I'd be having a hard time. So start really wide. See where your threshold is. Keep your elbows straight. You should feel this in the pectorals, in the shoulders, and the biceps. Just like that. Another one that's good for the back of the shoulders is to pull your arm across like this. I'm above my elbow here with my left hand, and I feel it in my right shoulder, and then I'll do the opposite side. Do a tricep stretch that looks something like this. You don't have to do it kneeling. I'm just getting close enough so you can see what's going on. Got my other hand tucked. I'll show you from this view. Down here by my neck. And I'm pulling back. Sometimes I like to do this against a wall. I'll take my hand and I'll put it in that same formation, but then I'll just push my right elbow into the wall, keeping this hand really close to my shoulder. And that tends to get a better stretch. I can let the wall do the work for me. I also enjoy to stretch my wrists. Let's pull the sleeves up a little bit so you can see what's going on. You can Keep the elbow straight and gently pull down. Don't go real hard. Don't go beyond a 90-degree angle. So don't try to pull this all the way up here. That would be bad. But just a gentle stretch. And a gentle stretch. And then coming back to the right hand, I can grab the inside of my fingers and pull back. And you can twist your elbow in and out like that to get different spots. And I'll do the other side here. Same twisting idea. So I look like this. Another one you can do, I'll stand back here, so you can grab the inside of your palm, one of the fingertips, and pull diagonally across. I'm taking my right hand to my left hip, and I'm pulling the fingers up and back like that. Try to get different viewpoints here so you can see what's going on. And then the other side. So that loosens up the hands. Something that's kind of tricky, but it really feels good, is if I put my index fingers together, my middle fingers, and then my ring fingers together, like that. And do the same stretch. And you pull back that way. And it not only gets my wrist flexor, but it gets my finger flexors too. And that feels really good on both sides. And again, in this case, my left hand is down, my right hand's underneath. Index fingers together, middle fingers together, ring fingers together. And when I pull back on that, that really feels good. So some forearm stretches there. Something else you can try for your rhomboids, your upper back. Get a big stance. Imagine you're holding a big beach ball or an urn. And tuck your chin and just swing back and forth. Let the imaginary ball pull you from side to side. Get a little momentum there. You can also look like a teapot and stretch your latissimus, in this case my right latissimus. Now we can start to work on some stretches on the ground. What I like to do is a leg pretzel, which looks like this. You can start by putting your left leg out straight and your right foot over the top of your left knee. But then really that left foot should be tucked in here. And with your left arm, you can hug your right knee. Keep your both glutes on the ground. Don't lean up like this. See how my butt's up in the air? You know, have good posture. You want to pull that knee to your chest, and you'll feel it in your right glute. And I can take my right hand and put it on the ground, my left arm on the other side, and I'm twisting, I'm turning towards the back of the room here, stretching my lower back. And then I can grab both of my feet, and I can lean forward, and I'll feel that in my hip, in a little bit different place than before. So then we'll try the other side. I like to start with my bottom leg tucked, and then the top leg comes over like that. Since my left knee is up, I'm going to hug with my right arm. Left hand will go behind, right arm will switch sides, and I'm going to twist counterclockwise here towards the back of the room. Then I like to do a straddle split. The important thing is to have good posture and to let the toes be going up to the ceiling. Let me do this from the side view. Sometimes I see people do this. Their feet are lazy, their hips are rolled under, and that's not really a good stretch. So what do we need to do? We need to straighten the toes, and we need to have good posture. You can put your hands behind you if you want. You can have a friend sit behind you and put his back against your back, and that'll keep you sitting up nice and tall. Gently move forward. Don't go until you're making faces. If it's really, really painful, you're going to hurt yourself. Your muscles have a natural reaction to tighten up, to guard against tearing. So gently ease into the stretch. So here I am. And then you can do your latissimus stretch again. I like to go, I'll face you again. I like to go over the top facing you, and then turn and face my knee. Over the top, and then face my leg. And then you can lean forward. Again, keep really good posture. Turn again. Don't round your back and try to put your head down, but sit up really tall and try to put your solar plexus to the ground. And go slowly. Take your time. Let gravity do the work. Notice I'm not making any funny faces. I'm not pulling really hard. I'm just letting gravity do the work. And eventually your elbows will touch. And if you stay here long enough, just let gravity do the work. Reach out a little longer. My solar plexus will touch the ground, but it takes time. Yeah, and then ease up nice and slow too. Don't jump out. If you feel like you've gotten a pretty good stretch from this position, you can push a little further. Only if the pain has subsided. And then you can do the same thing again. You can do your lat stretch, and you can lean forward. That's good enough for now. So then you can gently let your legs come back in here. I'm going to turn and face you. And we can do another stretch. This one is for the lower back, the lower latissimus. Keep your right leg out straight at an angle. Left leg is tucked. Keep your knee on the ground, your butt on the ground. And I'm going to reach for my right foot with my left hand. And you should feel it back here, by your kidney. And then you can go the other way. Left leg out straight, right leg bent. Keep that knee down. It's tempting to lift that knee real high to grab your foot, but that defeats the stretch. Keep that knee down as you twist. Then you can put your feet out, not together and not in a split, but just a little wider than shoulder width. And again, reach for your right foot with your left hand. This time you should feel it in your hamstring, the back of your leg, between your butt and your knee. Take your time. If you can't reach your foot, just reach wherever you can reach and let gravity do the work. And then we'll go to the other side. Try to keep good posture and try to lay your chest and your stomach down. Don't just put your nose down. Keep a flat back. Now that we've loosened them up individually, we can stretch them together. So we can bring our feet all the way in. And you can reach for your feet. Start for the knees, reach the toes. If you can reach the bottom of your feet, that's good too. You're trying to put your chest to your knees, not your nose. Sometimes my lower back is real stiff, so something I like to do is to widen my feet a little bit and let my toes just fall. So it looks pretty sloppy. But then when I lean forward, I don't feel my legs at all, but I feel my lower back. So this is a great lower back stretch. Sitting all day, or if you did some squats or deadlifts in the gym, you can put your legs out like this. You kind of look like Pinocchio, but then you just lean forward. And that's a great lower back stretch. And then you can go back to this one. And I really like pulling on my feet because I feel it in my calves also. Another good lower back stretch would be to sit with your legs crossed. And you can lean forward. Try to put your elbows to the ground. If your back isn't tight, you won't feel anything, but if you're tight from sitting in a chair all day, then you'll feel a little something. You can put your chest to your knee, maybe your chin to your left knee. Notice my right leg is in front, it's overlapping. When I switch to go to the other side, I need to make sure that my left foot is in front. So whatever foot is in front, that's the direction you lean towards. And you'll feel this over here to the side, again by your kidney. Another good one you can try. This looks like a butterfly stretch, but I'm not pulling my feet all the way in like this. I've got them out here in front just a little bit. my feet. And that's a good lower back stretch also. The next one is a little challenging, but I encourage you to try it. You're going to lay flat on your back, and you're going to bring your legs all the way up and over. Try to keep your knees straight and put your toes on the ground behind your head. Now, in order to do this, you really need to be warmed up. So if you just jump out of bed and do this, you probably won't be able to. From here, you can hug your legs, grab your elbows. Notice my head is on the ground, and my belt line is very close to the ground, and everything's relaxed. My feet are relaxed. You can grab your knees and you can rock forward and backward. That feels good on the lower back. Then you can tuck your feet and twist. Notice they're stacked one on top of the other. And my knees are down to the ground. Do that from another view. You can tuck and twist like that. And you can do the other side. You can also put one leg out straight and turn that one over. Sometimes people like to leave that up there. You could even cross your legs and then lean over. So they're all variations on the same thing. So that's one type of stretch. Or you can cross your right leg over top and then twist towards your left. Another favorite of mine looks like a yoga position, looks like the downward dog position. You're going to go on your hands and your feet. I'm going to do one at a time here. My heel is on the ground, my knee is straight, and I'm not doing this. You see how I'm really stretched out? I'm sticking my butt as high as I can, and I'm putting my arms and my back in the same line. So I look like a capital A. And that gives me a really good stretch in my calf. And you can twist your hips left and right to get different stretches. And then you can try the other side. It's down just on my left leg, turning back and forth. And then you can do just a regular toe touch. Start with your feet pretty wide. Put your nose to your right knee and to your left knee. Bring your feet, I'll do that from a front view. So now my feet are a little closer, they're about shoulder width. And again, I can go to my right leg. And you might want to hold it longer than I'm holding here, but this is just an example. And then you can bring your feet together. And this is going to be the hardest stretch, all the way down. So now your back and your hamstrings should feel pretty loose. Now we're going to try one other stretch. I'll do it from a side view and then from a rear view. So I'm going to go in a long position like this. My knee is straight, my heel is off the ground, and I'm lunging forward. You'll feel it in this case in your right hip because your right leg is back. My right leg is back. And then you can kneel and continue to lunge forward. So you feel the stretch right through here. And then I like to take my right hand and put it on the ground and grab my right foot with my left hand and pull that foot to my butt. And hopefully you can see my body and my leg are in one straight line. Don't do this. It really hurts the kneecap and there's not much of a stretch. So I need to push those hips forward and I need to look up to the ceiling for a good stretch. And then you can do the other side. So you got a long lunge, you've got a kneeling lunge, left hand down, right hand grabs the left foot, and stretch. I'll do that from a rear view here. So you've got the lunge, you've got the kneel, right hand is down, left hand grabs. Notice how I'm grabbing. Don't grab this way, but grab with your thumb pointed up to the ceiling. gives a good stretch. Sometimes that's hard if you've never done it before, to do it on the ground, in which case I recommend getting a chair. This chair doesn't have a pad on it, so it might be kind of rough on the knee. But if you had a wall to hang onto, you could support yourself with the wall and get the same kind of stretch. Notice I'm grabbing my left foot with my right hand, and that really gets a good quad and hip stretch. I'm going to do it against the wall here so you can see what's going on better. So you can get your knee up there, and you can look around and grab it that way and stretch. And so you should feel that in your quadricep and your hip flexors. There's only one other stretch I like. It's a calf stretch. So might have to turn the camera for this one, but we'll try it here on this wall. Can you see me? I think so. Basically, I like to put my foot up against the wall, my right foot, keeping my knees straight, and then try to bring my nose to the wall. And I can twist my hips to the right and to the left, mainly to the right, and that gets a really good stretch on the calf. Try the other side. Might be good if you could see it from a side view, so I'm going to pull the camera around here. Whoa. That's no good. Well, I don't want to restart because it was a long video. So we're just going to pull you over here, and you're going to take a look at my feet. Perfect. So, right foot goes against the wall. Notice my back leg is straight, and my back heel is on the ground. So I'm really getting two calf stretches. I'm getting my right and my left as I'm leaning into the wall, trying to push my upper body towards the wall here. And then the other side. So like I mentioned before, make sure you do these stretches. You warm up, you stretch, you work out, and you stretch again.